Hello everyone and welcome back to Two Bros Game Night. I am your host, Older Bro.
I'm your other host, Younger Bro.
And today, we continue in National Park Girls, where we have a National Park Girl and a National Park Girl weeaboo. As per previous episodes.
Baka, I don't like you.
Baka, I don't want to grab your ass, Baka. A bug splats on the windshield, one of many that are now caked to the car. I pull down the lever, and cleaning fluid sprays onto the window. My windshield wipers mostly just spread the mess back and forth, only serving to make things more slippery.
That's nasty.
That
yeah,
is
guys,
really nasty.
Speaking of bugs on the windshields, you should have seen our car when we were coming home from vacation.
Oh yeah, it was so many bugs. So terrible.
Oh man. It was
This is
nasty.
important because it's part of a wave of expansion in Western esotericism that occurred going into the 20th century, alongside groups such as the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn.
What in the fuck did you just say?
What are you talking about? This is
you know what? I don't think even if we'd seen this last episode a week ago,
yes,
we still wouldn't know what this is on about.
Yeah.
There's no context.
I want her to say, "What the fuck you on about?"
I've been driving so much today. The library is right next to the replica village I was giving the tour at earlier, the one you saw. If all this had happened before I went in for work, I would have just brought Yosemite with me to save on gas.
But the real big takeaway from it, at least in my opinion, is that in the book, Besant and Leadbeater lay out 3 principles for this philosophy: quality of thought, nature of thought, and definiteness of thought.
I think she's reciting the book she's
Yes.
reading.
That is true. At least it's not too big of a loss. The drive is therapeutic.
Therapeutic in
Yeah.
quotes.
No, well, that's a real thing. There are a lot of people that find driving relaxing.
Oh, I thought
So
the
she
drive
means it-
with her is there.
No, she means the literal being in the car and driving it
Okay,
is calming for her. Any drive where the forest borders me on both sides of the road is. Yes, that should be is. Okay, I just reread that whole sentence. That R is wrong. Even if this is one of the busiest areas in the park.
I think they
There's
didn't
certain
want to do
details that
is
I
and
disagree
then
with,
right after and
but
makes
they're the
sense.
backbone of Dr. Angela Merrick's theory that I've been trying to elaborate on. That being mind creates matter.
Hope those kids are on a bus headed home by this point. Running into them would be sure to bulldoze what's left of my pride after how that tour went. Huh. Wonder if Yellowstone will save leftovers for us. To be honest, I'm not sure when we're going to be back. We could be out well into the night if we find a lead.
Are you even listening to me?
No,
No.
I tuned you out a long time ago.
My attention turns from the beauty of Yosemite the park to the poutiness, but still beauty of Yosemite the girl. You'd be surprised by the difference and the similarities. Oh, so you are saying she's hot.
Not gonna lie, I tuned out everything after Crowley. It's all voodoo to me.
Voodoo magic.
Delima, actually. But because you're helping me out, I'll let your disrespect slide just this once.
Oh no, I'm not being
Uh-huh.
disrespectful. I literally cannot. Like, my brain will not allow what you're talking about to stick. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm being incompetent.
It's not disrespect. I just wasn't listening.
That's probably a better way of saying it. Yosemite stabs me with her eyes, shanking me with hundreds of tiny, passive-aggressive daggers. Then she sighs and gives up. Because I win. Always and forever. Wow!
If she gives in, I win.
I
and
like
she
the
knows
nervousness
that.
in this shot of, like, the idea that she wins forever now.
So, before I get my hopes up,
Oh my god, you have hopes? Next you're gonna tell me you have dreams, too!
before I throw you out of this vehicle, what do you think the chances are of us actually finding something of value at this library?
Nah.
Depends on what you're looking for. This isn't exactly a public library, you know. It has records, essays, articles, and a bunch of other things I'm sure only you will find interesting.
Despite the last-second jab at her, Yosemite's knees bounce with restrained excitement as I list off the library's collections. Yep,
Oh,
I'm...
Sounds like a treasure trove. I won't be sure of what we're looking for until we get there. but now I'm positive we'll find it.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't get your hopes up.
She notices her bouncing knee and then slams her fist down on the shin. It stops. She glances at me, looks out the window, turns to look at me again, and finally commits to the window.
Whatever it is.
Oh, you got whatever it is. What a freak.
Yeah. It's a little fun to watch. Makes me wonder just what exactly is going on in her head.
You sure do have a fetish for learning, huh?
Fetish? Is there not a single bone?
You,
or
we
organ
hold
or
you!
tendon in your body that isn't crude? It is a fascination. Understand, you barbarian?
Wow, you are actively getting wet as you tried to say the word fetish.
Sure.
I do. I understand that she's embarrassed because I hit the nail right on top of its fragile little head. She huffs and puffs like a fussy grandma.
But, yes, if you're actually wondering, I find acquiring new information to be a joy. And the more I can indulge in it, the better.
I mean, we could do a study with just you and me, in my bed.
No.
I hide my teasing beneath a cough.
Fetish.
I despise you!
Yes.
No, you
I
don't.
know.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Exactly a barrel of dandelions either.
Sometimes. She stretches my hat over her head until she looks like she's wearing a mask. It's hard to tell for sure over the rushing wind from outside, but I'm almost convinced I can hear the first few syllables of a muffled laugh.
I have my reasons, you know.
Swirling out of the depths of my hat, Yosemite plops her chin down on her fist and gazes out the window.
Oh, really?
A reason for being a pretentious snob?
Wait.
Oh, no.
They then capitalize this.
For being a pretentious snob is the first response that zaps through my mind. That's
supposed to be a capital.
No, it isn't.
What?
This is this is a word, basically. This is a single word in this sentence.
What?
The first response in her mind is, she's being a pretentious snob.
Okay.
This is a weird structure of a sentence, and I have no idea if it's right or not, because this is beyond the scope of my, at most, advanced level of English knowledge. I decided to hold off, because as much as I love getting under her skin, it's pretty cheap to devalue the things people care about.
Yeah, and I
know that.
I took
At
writing
least
it.
now.
Yeah. I
Your
took
research,
writing, and I'm not
right?
sure if that's correct either.
Yeah.
Yes, but not only that.
The seat squeaks as she shifts around. She settles on one position, her posture a little stiffer. Okay, is posture a metaphor in this game, or is it still mean actually posture? Then decides that's too uncomfortable, and slouches. The process repeats itself.
Retaining information is difficult, especially in the long haul. I first noticed it with Zion. Then me, eventually. Memories seemed fuzzier. Details that used to be clear just began slipping away.
Wow, wow.
It's been about a week since the big blow-up between Yosemite and Zion. All Zion wanted was to spend time together at a picnic, but Yosemite let the worst of herself get a hold of her and warped the nice gesture into a test to see if she could trigger some memories in Zion. The North Guardian Angel was gorgeous. That's one picnic I don't want to relive.
I noticed it in Yellowstone, too. Sometimes when she's cooking or cleaning or even just playing with Zion, she'll pause. Get this faraway look in her eyes, like she's missing something. I think it happens to all of us at one point or another. It might just come with the territory, with existing. But it feels like a curse.
You sure it's not just existing that's the curse?
It's all perspective, I suppose. Sometimes it sure does feel that way. But for me, soaking up as much information as I possibly can, about anything, even things that might seem silly or esoteric, is how I cope with it. To make sure I never truly delude myself into thinking the essence of existing is suffering. Because there needs to be more to it than the things that scare me.
The words are desperate, but she says them with enough conviction for me to know She's repeated this mantra to herself until she ended up believing it. Or at least until she got attached to it.
Color me jealous.
Are you setting up a sarcastic punchline, or is this a segue into genuine admiration for me?
The fact that you think jealousy equates to admiration says more about you than me. But, yeah, I mean it. You have an actual philosophy to live by. A structure of belief that drives you to action. That means you're tenacious, or tenaciously oblivious. Not everyone is so lucky.
We smack a bump in the road. Dangling from the ignition, the keys jingle. I moaned about it to Jessie when I got re-signed, but I wish someone cared enough to do something about the potholes. I wish that person were me.
God, I'm getting secondhand depression just listening to you.
Shit.
Motivations, beliefs, whatever it is that keeps you diving headfirst into insanity. That isn't something you're either born with or without. Attributing it to luck undermines not only your ability to seek truth, but also the one current that flows through every living and natural thing.
I keep one eye on the road and one eye on Yosemite, waiting for her to follow up. She doesn't. Instead, we hit another pothole.
Ask what it is. This conversation warrants anticipation.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not talking
You're
a lot,
unreal.
guys. I am just...
Ask me!
I want you to move the conversation forward. She whines. I roll my eyes and validate the spoiled child, and channel my inner Yellowstone.
Hot skippy, Yosemite! I don't got a clue about the thunk inside your thing. Hit me with them deeds.
Now she gives me the transcendent stare.
It's will. The intention to commit to an action that changes the surrounding environment. Intention. You have to have it when you get a cup of coffee. The Earth absorbs heat unevenly. Thus, it has intention to diffuse the gas via wind.
Not
But to
necessarily.
act on intention takes will, which means anything with the potential to act, at the very least, shares will. If something exists, but it actively denies its capacity to change its reality, it's either oblivious to the power of its will, or
She grins at me with smug pity.
it's scared of it.
She sure is devoted to making sure her points are theatrical revelations. Gotcha therapy.
Dang, Yosemite. Your 8th grade pseudo-philosophy stabilized the serotonin in my body for the first time in years. I could feel my bootstraps lifting me into the sky as we speak.
Quit strawmanning me with an adage I didn't even say. I just want you to act on your potential in a positive way. Because right now you're only using it to constipate yourself.
You're funny, but
with
you
fear,
think I can act positive.
Probably anger too.
Wait, shut up. Did you just imply that you have an emotional investment in my long-term happiness?
Yosemite raises her finger to speak, then drops it. Her mouth mindlessly hangs open, frozen in stasis. Her hands fall to her lap, the safest place in the world. She fiddles with her thumbs instead of looking at me. Hey guys, we're setting up for that romance now! Be ashamed if you didn't fucking ever get to it! No, you're gonna do that thing that every fucking show does, and the romance is gonna happen in a kiss in the final fucking scene of the final chapter, aren't you? Shitty romance company? Studio coattails. I fucking swear, if the last scene of this game when you release the final chapter is them kissing, I will be angry.
I will refund.
I can't refund this game, but I will be very angry at you. Do a better job. Set up the romance early, have the romance early, and then expand on the romance.
No. I'll do
early.
I'll do it better. It was all a dream.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
Thanks, I guess.
I don't know how to feel about that.
While the voice on the inside of my head is busy screaming, I try to admire some of the trees on the side of the road. So textured, so green, so easy to distract myself with as I avoid the reality of Yosemite continuing today's tradition of being vulnerable. And me continuing the tradition of trying to ignore my love for Yosemite, the park. Absolutely the park. It's hard to swallow, because if Yosemite, with all of her egotism and faux put-upons, can make the conscious effort to be truthful about her emotions, And I don't really have any excuse, and that sucks. Which is why I need to offer her a way out now.
It's just funny you say that, since there are some implications that crop up from that.
Wow! They are really going to actually try to bring the romance in now, aren't they? But I guarantee you that's not gonna happen.
Like what?
She doesn't say it with any ironic doubt or guilty pity. It's plain and curious and genuine, and comprises some of my defenses, quite frankly. Or compromises some of my defenses, frankly. I grip the steering wheel under the until the rubber squeaks under my hand.
Well, you know, like how if you believe the potential for will exists in every natural thing, then you're saying people are part of nature, inherently. That's pretty optimistic for you, don't you think?
Eve.
She leans in and adjusts the rearview mirror, shifting it to face me. When she's done, she folds her hands for punctuation. And when I look at the mirror, I don't get the privilege of looking out the back window. I get a look at myself.
I said what I said.
I got
Achievement, I said what I said. That's so good.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Switch!
Switch! Fuck off!
Double switch!
What?
They're actually playing Uno!
Are we Zion?
Yes.
There.
No.
5. And I know you don't have any reds left.
No.
Oh, we're Yellowstone.
We're Yellowstone.
You may have to draw. Yellowstone. Stop daydreaming. It's your turn. This is very serious. Oopsie daisy.
How long does it take to
In
get
my
to a
dilly
library?
dally.
They had to switch.
Let's see. Red 5, huh? Well, any other day this would put me in a real pickle. But I'm thinking this wild card right here is gonna land me in...
You already
Uno.
lost.
Again? You always save the fancy cards for last.
Yeah, that's how you play
That's how
the
you-
game!
That's smart. That's how you play Uno.
Round.
Wait, did they stop at Uno? Did they just get to the Uno and then quit the game? I mean, it is the
What?
name of the game, so I guess roll credits, but... What?
What?
Yellowstone. If you don't want to play, I really wish you would come out and say it. What? No, that's not what's... Golly, I'm sorry, Zion. I just got brainworms squirming around in the old noggin, I guess. Brainworms? Don't tell me you actually ate one of our mud pies again.
Again?
Not this time. It's that memory, dream, vision, whatchamacallit we all had. I can't stop thinking about it. And I'm the best at not thinking about things.
That's a very bad thing to say about yourself.
Well, it was a very intense experience.
You also did
It
specifically
only
say you
makes
thought
sense
she was
for it
hot,
to
so
linger with you.
maybe there's other emotions going through you right now.
But it's more than that. It was like I was seeing things through some other fella's eyes. Like it wasn't me.
What?
I had a similar feeling. It was such a relief once it was over. You're telling me. Except, it still kind of feels like I'm there. And then I got to thinking, what if what I saw in the whatchamacallit was the real me? And the me that's here right now is just a phony?
You're a phony!
Actually exist. What if you, Yosemite, Eve, and this entire park don't exist?
Don't think that, or else you'll
That's
get a
real
Kyle.
screwed up, Yellowstone.
Yeah.
That's real screwed up.
Oh, it's really bumming me out. Everything seemed so solid before. Now it all seems flimsy. Like a thin tater chip you can see through.
What? That's a terribly thin potato chip.
Don't be bummed out, Yellowstone. Here, let me draw us another hand and we can talk about it until you feel better. Really? You do that for me?
I like how they're playing Uno. We still haven't played it on the channel yet.
Of course. I love you.
Aww.
And besides, existence is extremely strange, especially if it's not something you consider very often. Is it? Until Evo came along, I always felt like any Jack and Jill you'd see on the hiking trail. Well, minus the condom. But the way she talks about us makes me feel like some kind of goober that shouldn't be real. Like we're something out of a dream. It's interesting that you mentioned dreams. People have theorized that life is one big dream since people could theorize. Oh, like that one banger we always jam to.
Huh.
Row, row, row your boat gently
Oh
down
my
the stream.
God.
Merrily, 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 merrily,
You are way
life is
too
but a...
old fashioned.
Oh.
Oh,
is
now.
Do you know that fancy word? That one that happens to you when your ticker starts beating real quick and you get so spooked you start sweating and it just keeps going until your brain sort of farts?
What?
Anxiety? Zion, I think I have anxiety.
Oh shit.
At least we know that they're not all. I mean, I guess we already knew that they weren't. I guess we already knew they weren't all like that they weren't all figments of her imagination because other people have seen them. But like we now know that not only are they not just around when she's around, they're like not only do they exist, they're also around when she's not around.
Yes.
So I hop out of the car and slam the door shut. Yosemite steps out and eases it shut. I don't hear it latch. The parking lot, gray and faded from the elements, leads into the replica village. We don't have to go and seek out the library because it's right there, edging into the village's territory like an unwelcomed invader, just like this park. Stone archway and kitsch arts and crafts wood paneling don't do much to hide the facade.
Did you lock it?
Yes, Yosemite.
You didn't forget to turn the headlights off, did you?
They're automatic, Yosemite.
Did the engine sound weird to you? Because
You can stop now, Yosemite.
You can
little things tend to add up, you know.
We can teleport back if the van stops working, Yosemite.
Yeah, like you're complaining.
Yosemite pouts in huffy silence, mouthing my words and scrunching her face into an impression of me, an overgrown child on an ego trip.
So how long do I have to wear this hat for anyway?
She tilts up the brim of the hat like a wannabe cowboy.
Until those daggers on the sides of your head fall off.
Oh shit.
My ears are beautiful.
And also distracting. We'll have a lot of explaining to do if someone sees them.
I'm half elf.
I think everyone else should explain to me why their ears are so round and stub.
I tug the hat over her eyes and start for the library. She pops back up from underneath the hat.
Disrespectful.
You know all about that.
I wait for Yosemite at the door for 5 seconds, longer than I'd like. When I turn around to scold her, she's frozen in the middle of the path, gazing at the replica village. She doesn't flinch, breathe, or move, as if she's in another trance. Okay, I guess she can have 10 more seconds. I whistle her over and pull her back to reality. She shuffles over, only looking back once before meeting me at the door. Instead of letting me, an employee of the park and the federal government, do it, she drags the damn thing open herself and barges in. Do you really want to hold the door for her?
Museum!
Yosemite's mouth drops in awe as her voice echoes across the giant showroom. Dozens of Native American artifacts, from pottery to woven baskets, are displayed in cases of glass. The handful of people quietly enjoying the exhibit turn to us. My embarrassment is camouflaged by Yosemite's childlike joy.
I'm just going to sneak in real quick and read some of the plaques.
Oh, no, you aren't.
I snag her by the hood of her jacket and pull her down a hallway behind me.
But
We'd be here all day. You can come back another time.
one day.
She just so
One
wants
day. She
to
just
go to the
wants be
museum.
his.
She just wants to go to the museum gift shop so much.
I know.
She goes limp, accepting her fate for the time being. I'm sure she'll keep this in her back pocket and guilt me into bringing her back eventually. The hallway is lined with mundane wooden doors, most of which are just offices and break rooms for staff. One of them is for storage, if I remember right. At the end of the hall, the last door is held open by a rubber door stopper. A faded plaque hangs on the wall. Yosemite National Park Research Library.
Oh.
There you go.
Is this it?
That's right.
I was expecting something more elegant.
You're funny.
Ha!
See?
Kneeing the door open, I squeeze through and let it smack Yosemite while it closes.
Ow! Thin ice.
Already melted.
I start to dig into my pocket for my lanyard and identification. when a familiar sing-songy voice calls out to me.
Oh, I'm sorry, sweetie, but we aren't open to the public.
Are you fucking serious? Are you fucking serious? How are you going to explain this tall drink of water to your boss and your mother? Again, mother and boss.
Eve?
Sitting at the front desk, Jessie pokes her head out from behind a stack of paperwork, her hat balanced neatly on top of it. Why are you here?
Jessie, what are you doing here? Cheryl's always here on weekdays.
Well, Cheryl and some of the museum staff got laid off in the last round of budget cuts, so the upper brass has been exploiting... relying on volunteers more.
You are the boss! Why are you a volunteer?
So I thought, what the hey, I'm a registered volunteer, may as well take a vacation day to look after the old place and get some work done.
What?
You should be fired for refusing to take a day off. No, actually, you should just be forced to take a day off. Please take a day off. Her mouth is saying one thing, but the twitch in her eye is saying something entirely different.
So you're not getting paid for this?
What can I do for you, Eve?
Undercutting the question.
No.
She sounds like she's about to cry. Yosemite looks on in stoic horror.
Your lives sound like nightmares.
Hey, Yosemite, would you like to volunteer?
That's
If you
tricky.
volunteer, you can be in here all the time. You can run the gift shop.
Like right now. Do it.
Jesse perks up, staring right through me at the new shiny new person.
What? I was about to say something and then hold the new shiny new.
Never see you with someone else, Eve.
I don't know if that's intentional or not, but it should be. But please change it. If only she knew this person was who I've been spending most of my precious time with lately. Please, I beg you, game. If there is one ask I get before the other ask where you start the romance earlier than the last chapter, please introduce her as your girlfriend. Introduce her as your girlfriend, because she has to accept it.
Friend from college.
No.
She's looking for some reference material before her study gets reviewed.
A friend, huh? Do you let all your friends wear your hats? Or only the cute ones?
I like the fact that the game is being like, so you're dating, right? She leans against the desk and wiggles around like a cat about to pounce on its toy. Very amusing, Jessie. Her immediately going for the hat is a little too close for comfort, though. If she digs up the truth about Yosemite now, it will basically confirm to me that she has a sixth sense.
Whatever you're trying to imply, you should stop.
Or I'd kill you.
Ooh, you never talk about yourself. What choice do I have but to guess?
Do not.
Yeah, to not.
You could at least tell me her name.
Yellowstone. Sorry, Yosemite. I'm halfway through taking my first breath when Yosemite dives in front of me and snatches Jessie's hand so she can vigorously shake it. Okay, what name did you come up with, honey?
It's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Lilith. If you want, you can put a doctor in front of that on account of my PhD, which I'm very proud of.
Wow, she is selling this hard. Oh my god, the ego on this girl. She has a backstory ready and everything. It's the role she's deluded herself into believing she was born to play.
I got no words.
Jessie plays into Yosemite's narcissism and shakes her hand. Whether she actually believes the obvious lie, or she's going along with it to entertain herself, I'm not sure.
Oh, impressive. You keep some interesting company, Eve.
Yeah, she's the salt of the earth.
Literally.
Well, Lilith, it's nice to meet you too. I'm Eve's supervisor.
Yes, Jessie, I've heard so much about you.
Oh,
Thank
really?
you for looking after my tiny friend here.
My tiny friend!
But I think having positive influences like you has made her life significantly less miserable. Despite her best efforts.
She's really going for it, putting every ounce of her being into the performance. Unfortunately for you, Yosemite, you're not the only one who can use words.
Oh, Lilith. You've changed so much since your days of passing out drunk on the lawns of frat houses and a massive piece of human garbage.
The room gets quieter than most libraries have the privilege of being. Having miscalculated the length of time I would put up with her crap in public, Yosemite's face goes pale.
Damn. I'm not sure how you two haven't killed each other yet.
Oh.
It's a struggle.
Jessie leans back in her rolling chair, decompressing with a sigh. Her eyes are half shut, ready to embrace the sweet gift of a nightcap the moment we're out of sight. And therefore, we're going to give her a good nap for a few minutes while we end the episode and come back next time. Until next time, the future is very uncertain. But what is certain is these two girls will fuck before the end of this series. Also, you guys are awesome, and there'll be more Two Bros Game Night tomorrow. See you then.
Goodbye.